Hi everyone, this is Dragon GJY. Welcome to the second part of my IS3 n15 guide. In this episode, I will be introducing my recommendation of the skill tree unlock priority, then breaking down the whole 15 levels of difficulty. These, along with the rejection and enemy introduction in the next episode, will help you better understand the environment of the whole n15 difficulty and why some operators turns out to be very strong in this situation. First, let's briefly walk through the skill tree system. It is now in a branch mode in IS3, so you can theoretically unlock them in any order you like. However, I do recommend a specific order of which you unlock them to make your initial runs easier. First step, I recommend going down the middle lane. The first few nodes will allow you to unlock crucial gameplay elements like the drifting chest, relic exchange, operator transport, and the secret floor. Going down, it gives you more experience from clearing battles for faster leveling up and gaining hope. It will upgrade the human-oriented squad, which is very beginner-friendly, basically a babysitter, plus one squad and deployment limit, which is huge QOL and gives chance for shop discount when you reroll the stock. Next to the upper left lane, it will give you some attack and defense stats, but most importantly allows you to start with 6 max life points, and in the end unlocks the ability to gain 1 shield from a flawless battle when you have more than 8 life points left, so the prerequisite will also help you get to that easier. Next to the middle, left, and right sub-branches. The left ones will give you attack bonuses and the right ones will give you additional ingots to start with. You should then be able to go down the rightmost lane, which will give you 1 key and 1 more dice roll to start the game with, allows you to reroll when you fail to get the relic you want in the relic node, and also upgrades the dice squad. After that, go down the lower left lane. You'll be able to get a juicy 11% increase to attack and defense, and also upgrades the Mind Over Matter squad, which is also very fun to play with. Then go left for a chance to reroll at a send check to possibly avoid your key member from getting a rejection, and 1 more dice roll at start. And you'll be left with just 6 more nodes, and you can just do them in any order. Next, let's take a look at all the difficulty levels and their implications. These are all of them in order, and I will break them down in just a sec. Also, remember, there is an additional stats buff on top of these that will give enemies percentage of attack and max HP buff equal to the difficulty level N, and it is based on the stats of last floor. This is a mistake I made in the last episode, I'm sorry. So the real increase each floor should be a multiplier of 1 plus n% to the power of that respective floor. In short, they are just very big numbers. Now let's come back to the difficulties. Level 2, 4, 6, 10, and 14 involves changes that will influence the fundamental gameplay. Like we said in the last episode, you will start the game with 70 light, which will get you a rejection when you don't roll 4, 5, 6 or above upon entering a new floor. Plus 1 hope is also massive. It means that you will need 1 hope for any non-temporary 3 stars, 3 hope for 4 stars, 4 hope for 5 stars, and a huge 7 hope for 6-star operators. You will have to spend wisely when you recruit. Getting a cursed relic on 3rd floor will make the game even harder. Luckily, you can exchange away these debuff relics at the relic exchange node. Speaking of them, let's take a look at all the 5 debuff relics that can be given to you. Some of them are extremely troublesome if you keep them, so the first category is must exchange, meaning that you should actively go the path where relics exchange is available just to throw them away. This includes the Statue of Ryogen, which will make operators lose 15 SP on deployment. It is a pain for most of the skills in game, and after you get familiar with the map's patterns, these relics will just mess up the tempo drastically. The other relic is the Metabolize of Sea Gods. It gives all enemies 25% additional health, and it is no doubt the most oppressive debuff relics, and can easily kill you off on the way. Next category, we have the Light Reduction relics. For some reason, one is just the superior of another. They will make light reduce really fast, especially when you are aiming for the Shamlar ending, which already requires you to carry a non-exchangeable relic that reduces 5 lives every battle. These relics may make you get more rejections along the way and potentially make you miss out on the ending. And finally, we have the failed specimen. This can be a nuisance because it will instantly give you a rejection. Other than that, it won't do anything afterwards, and you don't necessarily need to pick the relic's exchange node for it. Plus, exchanging it away will not remove the rejection given to your operator. Okay, again back to the difficulties. There are 3 levels related to elemental damage, and they stack together for a total of 1.52 times more elemental damage build up. This, combined with the increased attack of enemies, makes the elemental damage proc just unstoppable even with the Wandering Medics. Due to how Wandering Medics have the least healing output amongst all the medics, their healing is very much insufficient in n15. Speaking of elemental damage, the most prevalent form of it in IS3 is corrosion damage, introduced in Doseless Holiday. Most of the enemies that debut in IS3 will also deal corrosion damage, and your operators will quickly be weakened to a piece of paper. There are also stages that feature seaborne enemies from Undertides and Stultiferra Nevis, and nervous impairment will make a return after its prevalence in IS2. Necrosis damage is only found in one of the 3rd floor maps, but it is still kinda a pain to deal with. Finally, let's take a look at all the enemy buffs. First thing, n15 is very unfriendly towards arts damage. All enemies have at least 20 res to start with, and all 3 of the ending bosses have 90 resistance. This makes arts damage, especially casters, extremely weak in n15. There is also movement speed and attack speed buffs, and as you may observe, elite and bosses are very threatening in n15. All these stats buffs will stack together multiplicatively with the universal buffs that scale with difficulty level I mentioned just now. For better understanding, I made a table to summarize the percentage increase of max HP, defense, and attack of elite and bosses on each floor. As one can see, the HP and attack of bosses can reach as high as 3 times of its N0 level. So, n15 is no doubt a true challenge to tackle. So this is all I have for episode 2, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.